Hello everybody, my name is Retros, and today I'm going to be making a tier list. So, as you can see on my screen right here, I have a tier list. All the alternative costumes are set at the bottom. This is going to be a Smash Online tier list. Now, I am a very casual Smash player. I play online, I play with friends, I play, in random lobbies, but I don't really compete in tournaments a lot. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to kind of share an outside opinion about somebody who doesn't try hard this game 24/7 to see and kind of experience what I think about some of the characters in the game. Now, I will say everything A tier, so A tier to D tier is not ordered. However, S tier and up is ordered. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. I'm gonna organize all the characters right at the beginning, and then I'm gonna go through one by one and explain why I think each character is where they belong. So let's get into it. Okay, so here we have D tier. Now, as you can see, there's a couple of common faces, some little more abstract ones, and yeah, so let's get right into it. But first off, we have Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is a very meh character. I do not see a lot of Bowser Jr.'s online, but the ones I do follow a very similar play style. Off stage, side B, up B, even though I've already grabbed ledge. And let me try to hit you with my out of cart attack to get the funny teabag on you. Otherwise, there's nothing really special about this character. A lot of slow, predictable smash attacks. The only thing that they really have going for them is the cannonball, but even then, a lot of other characters have way better projectiles than Bowser Jr., even in D tier. So let's just move on to the next one. Next, we have Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario is very average. There's nothing really special going for him. His combo game isn't as insane as some people make it out to be, and other than that, his recovery is really just nothing special. I mean, other than up B doing a lot more than regular Mario's up B, it's not that good for killing at early percents unless you just want to end a combo and try to get stage control. Kirby just spams moves, let's be real. He lands with down air, tries to hit into a forward or up smash, spams up B a lot on stage, try to get stage control, but otherwise, he's insane. His weight really is the downfall of him. He has some good moves, and the buffs a couple patches ago were really nice for him. However, it's not enough to put him up any higher than he already is. I really don't play against any Isabelle players, maybe one or two every month if I get, lucky, I guess you could say. But they all do the same thing. When you get off stage, they camp it with side B, cover the roll in with down B, and all that stuff. The only really thing they have going for them is forward and back air. But Villager has the same tools, but better specials. And honestly, Isabelle is more of a discount Villager when it comes to the grand scheme of things. Mii's Sword Fighter, I think, is one of the most unoriginal Mii characters in the game. Aside from Gunner, who's obviously in the same tier, let me just move them together real quick. Aside from Gunner, who's press the button faster than them. And if you can't, especially with how online lag works, you're just gonna get comboed. And if you're unlucky enough to choose the wrong move, you are done for. You could have a whole moveset built around one specific move. But if you don't hit that move, you're really just a lost cause. Kind of the same thing going in the Mii Gunner. The only thing that I find holds them back is the fact of how unoriginal they are. They're basically just Samus, but worse, lighter, not really as fun to play, which kind of brings them down when you look at how their play style works. And sometimes, I don't know how, they're even campier than Samus, which is unheard of for me. Now, let me just get this out of the way. Little Mac, I do not think is the worst online character. I don't think Little Mac is as bad as people think he is. Sure, he's bad when it comes to like offline and when you're sitting next to someone and playing them. Little Mac, he's light, he's easily gimpable. The only thing that really keeps him from being terrible is the amount of damage he can put out. Sure, it's not as insane as some other characters in his tier, and he doesn't really he literally lacks most aerials, which are completely useless, but they're better than having nothing. Other than KO Punch, a really strong counter, his side B killing fairly early, his neutral B is just there, and he doesn't really have anything incredibly special going for him. Now Jigglypuff getting the buffs was really good for the kit. However, still being insanely light, and having to deal with so many other characters that can just run circles around you, and having most of Jigglypuff's matchups, I think, especially with online, there's no winning. They're mostly even, because everything that Jigglypuff can do can be countered in some way. Oh, pound, just counter it. Forward air, spot dodge, nair, spot dodge, grab, just mash like nothing else is coming for you. But otherwise, very boring kit. But the people who play Jigglypuff really good and understand her combo tree. However, she herself is not very interesting to play, to watch, or to see online. Now we have the heavies: Incineroar, Ganondorf, Ridley, and Piranha Plant. I think Ganondorf is the worst character online. Incineroar has the damage to back him up. He has really useful specials, especially with his down B being able to up his damage. His smash attacks are crazy strong, and he actually has some pretty decent combos. Some, they're not always really strong, but at least he has something to cover the higher percents and get the kills. Same kind of thing with Ridley, having down throw, fair, nair, back air, all that stuff, but his recovery is easily gimpable. His down B is basically useless in most play unless you are feeling risky or have like a stock or two lead, but otherwise he's very uninspired, unoriginal, and I shouldn't say uninspired, unoriginal, but I feel that online he doesn't shine as much as some people think he should. Piranha Plant really only relies on his specials. Patui and the Poison Cloud are really all that he has in terms of projectiles. Sure, down B's pretty good in breaking shields, but his smash attacks are also fairly good. But I feel he's heavy enough to get comboed, but he's light enough to not get constantly comboed, but too heavy to do anything about it. So he's kind of in an awkward middle ground where he just loses. He could come out of it, but he normally just loses because you picked him. Now Ganondorf I think is the worst. He's insanely heavy, insanely slow, high damage, sure, with his forward smash, up smash. Down smash is kind of there, pretty okay specials, very incredibly hype. Don't get me wrong, this character is insanely hype. However, there's a lot of other characters who are way more fun to watch, and he gets comboed by every other character in his tier. I think Ganondorf's the worst. Sure, he could get buffed, he could get somehow lighter, I guess, but I don't think that's really going to change much, seeing how he doesn't have anything to back up his raw damage. Now, we move on to C tier. And here's C tier. So we have a couple more characters than B tier, so I'm going to try to run through them as quickly as possible. As you can see, a lot of these are echoes. So Ken and Ryu. I think Ken's better than Ryu. Ryu lost a lot of what he had in Smash 4 to Ken, especially now that Ken can cancel stuff from his down smash. Ken's insanely strong. Ryu is too, and a lot better than a lot of the other characters in C tier and obviously D tier. But their tools aren't strong enough to really hold their own in a lot of online, and especially some of the higher up characters have stuff that could just easily kind of beat them in both raw strength and combo power. Mewtwo did get a couple buffs here and there, but I don't think it's really enough to really boost the play rate, or especially the fun factor, I guess you could call it. Online, I don't see a lot of Mewtwo's, but when I do, they spam jump a lot. Spam jump, try to read with down air. The juggles help. The juggles are pretty good, but even with other characters in C tier, and especially the tail hitbox, the combos are easily interruptible because of how the tail works. And I think that's the one thing that holds Mewtwo down, is the fact that the hitbox is so wonky, man. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's kind of like when Piranha Plant down Bs, how you could spike him and he'll just die off the ledge like that. I feel like Mewtwo kind of has that same thing, where if you back air and they whiff it, you could just down air and they're dead. Toon Link, I feel, is the boring Link, like out of Link, Young Link, and Toon Link. I think Toon Link is the most boring. He doesn't have anything necessarily interesting about his kit or his combos to really set him apart, but even with that online, he's still decent enough to be played, but they mostly just follow the same kind of combos that Link and Young Link have, but without all the flair and the fun. And that's going to be a theme throughout the rest of this tier list. How flashy are they and how fun are they to play are really going to be the things that set the tiers apart. Next, we have Robin. I don't see Robin having a lot of useful tools in the kit to kind of separate her from a lot of the other Fire Emblem characters. Sure, it's a lot more magic based, and projectiles really help her out. However, when you run out of those projectiles, you really put at a great disadvantage, and especially when you don't have your high damage with the Lebanon sword, you're really just kind of a sitting duck hoping that your regular sword can do enough to get the kill. Next, we have the Belmonts. I feel the Belmonts are pretty good, especially with spamming projectiles. However, it's a very simple play style, and a lot of people play them online follow the spam B button win game kind of route, which stinks because these characters have a insanely high potential, seeing how they can be in some online tournaments, but I haven't played in tournaments, like I said, so this is completely based off of my experiences, and every Belmont I've played has just spammed the B button and smash attacks. Next, we have my main, K. Rool, DDD, and yeah, I mean, they're heavies. I don't think K. Rool is the best heavy. He is one of the better heavies in the game, especially after all the buffs he's been getting. With the belly armor and with the crown armor, and especially with the projectile. Now, DDD has Gordo. Gordo is really good at keeping away, but it's his only projectile. It's really predictable. It's easy to hit back. He's gonna hit it out, and it's very. It hurts DDD more than it helps him, and especially with K. Rool and having 2 projectiles, a counter, and belly armor on like 7 different moves, you really start seeing the separation between the heavies in that sense. Next, we have the Pits. They got buffed, but they're still probably the most basic. They are probably the most beginner-friendly basic characters in the game. You know, multi-hitting moves, simple throws, easy combo trees, but there's nothing flashy or interesting about them to really set them up higher on the list. Now we have Zelda. If you thought the Belmont spammed the B button, then Zelda players put them to shame. I honestly, every Zelda I've played, I have honestly not seen them use any other button other than the B button. They constantly spam the giant iron sword dude, the ghost, Side B, they treat neutral B like it's their holy grail, and the only time they ever aerial is that they do Nair or Lightning Kick. Otherwise, up air doesn't exist. Up B is like, they think it's Palutena's but on crack, so I can't really... I'm not a fan of Zelda. I don't see Zelda really fitting well with the online, how people play it online too. But honestly, with the campiness and how she plays, she should be better, but just, she doesn't have anything to back up sitting in the corner. Well, you'll see later in the tier list, a lot of other characters kind of have something to help them if they get close. Rosa with Luma is insanely good, probably A tier. But once you lose Luma, Rosalina just comes kind of a sitting duck, because you lose a lot of the damage, you lose a lot of the loops, you lose a lot of the combos that you needed, and you don't have a lot to cover your recovery. Until Luma comes back, sure, it's a kind of a short recovery span between losing and gaining Luma back, but in that short time, that's the difference between a stock and a ton of percent. So I think that's really the only thing that holds Rosa back. Ice Climbers are a really good character. They're insanely strong with desyncs and everything they can do, but with online and with lag and all that strength, I don't feel they are as strong. Especially since when you have to run Sopo, there are a lot of characters who could just, with their full moveset, just run circles around you, and once you lose Nana, it's basically your stock, unless you're like a clutch god, which most online players are not. Next we have Duck Hunt. I don't think Duck Hunt is insane. Sure, they have decent projectiles. Sure, their keep away game is pretty good. But when you really look at it, like, they're not very interesting. Sure, a lot of people don't play them online. They're more of a in-person kind of character. But, like, the most people who play them online really just spam the projectiles. That's another thing you'll see online. A lot of characters that have projectiles, they will spam them to no end. And I am not against that. Obviously, playing K. Rool, Crown and Cannonball are my best friends. But yeah, Duck Hunt really just doesn't have anything else special. Sure, the smash attacks are incredibly disjointed and hit way farther than they should, but there's always counterplay, spot dodges, grabs from behind, or counters and all that can just kind of put a giant dent in their game plan. Now Lucario. I know Lucario got buffed. What the buffs did, I don't know. I have yet to play against a Lucario player. Basically, since the game's come out, I've seen no Lucario players. I'm honestly hoping that the buffs bring life back to the character, because he's not interesting. Even in person, there's nothing interesting about playing against a Lucario. They really just try to go for Aura Sphere, and their combos aren't interesting. Aura is an awkward mechanic. Sure, their counter can be angled, kind of like Greninja's, but when we look at Greninja, you'll see that he has a lot of other tools to back up having that. But Rage or Max Aura Lucario is insanely good. Crazy damage, basically kills you at 40. But regular Lucario really just kind of falls off hard. Next, we have B tier. So here we go with B tier. First up, we have Bayo. The Bayo buffs, they were very kind to Bayo. All the Bayo players who I play against are absolutely cracked. They're insane. I don't understand how they can be that good. But a lot of stuff that I think holds Bayo back is mainly just recovery. I find that a lot of the times when Bayo tries to recover, she'll try to save a jump, but it's pretty easy to get rid of it. I mean, you just kind of, if you push them down, if you push them out, they can always recover, especially with their air dodge being how far it reaches. If you push them down, there's not that much they can really do about trying to get back up. And especially even if they tech on stage, like, there's still a 50-50 chance they might not make it back. Next we have Byleth. We all have seen Byleth's potential online. Just, I think the one thing that holds them back is the fact that when you counter some of Byleth's moves, oh my god, the amount of damage that gets dealt to you is insane. Like, when you use down B and you get countered, you will probably die. Like, for sure you will die. But otherwise, really good combos, insanely good recovery, and enough funny moves to supply memers for days. Banjo, Bowser, and DK are next. Obviously, I think Banjo is probably one of the most stale DLC characters we've had. There's nothing really special about him other than Wonder Wing, 2 pretty decent projectiles, okay aerials and smash attacks. Tilts are fine, I guess, but there's nothing special about him to make him fun or interesting to play with or against online. Sure, Banjo can have maybe some cool Wonder Wing setups, but otherwise, like, if you're out of Wonder Wing or that you waste them trying to recover, you're really just stuck playing the lame game. Bowser and DK, they're both really fun heavies. Obviously, Bowser is probably the best heavy in the game, has plenty to cover, especially against some of the other heavies like King K. Rool, DDD, yada yada yada. Up B out of shield is always good. Bowser just kind of hits stuff that he really shouldn't, and it does insane amounts of damage. Same thing with DK, but DK has the spikes to back up his kind of lack of resourceful aerials. But let's be real, everyone loves DK because of the spikes. Next is ZSS. Now, I know a lot of people think ZSS is easily like S tier, but ZSS relies a lot on combos, setups, and follow-ups, and online there's a lot of input lag and just internet lag, which puts a big wrench in ZSS's game plan, meaning that you don't really resort to crazy chain combos. You resort to more of a campy playstyle with just running in, smash attacking, running away, and just kind of spamming your side B and neutral B to get the edge, and then wash, rinse, repeat. So it's not very interesting, and especially ZSS being a very light and combo-heavy, combo-centered character, losing that combo potential really brings them down. Next we have Wii Fit. Wii Fit's decent. A lot of the moves that heal her aren't necessarily good. I mean, her neutral B is really good. Side B is a great tool for covering ledge and all that kind of stuff, and especially all the random spikes and hitbox she has makes her all really fun. But I don't really see her being strong enough for online players to really grasp. Especially, kind of same thing, she has a lot of combos that rely on proper timing, and especially with the spike setups, you need those couple extra frames to be ready to get that kill, and when that confirm isn't there, you're really just setting yourself up for disaster. Next is Lucas. I hate Lucas. Lucas is insanely good, really good recovery, and crazy smash attacks, specials, PK freeze, PK fire. That is all really good for him. The only thing that I find sets him back is that all that stuff can be easily dodged. It's not like Ness's PK fire where it locks you in. His PK fire sends you back, but again, if you have a reflector, it's easily counterable, especially when you can just kind of dodge around it. And Ness, for being as light as he is can get comboed really hard, especially by our next character, Meta Knight. Meta Knight, with his 0 to deaths, is very, very interesting, to say the least. obviously with basically all of his specials being able to recover for him, he's very good. But I don't feel he has enough interesting about him to really hold a higher spot, because most of the upper characters have something special for them that kind of relies, but Meta Knight really hasn't had that since Brawl, especially now that gliding's back. I'm gonna say it, I hope Meta Knight kind of gets a glide, because I think that would provide so much needed life to the character and a lot of fun. Min Min is okay. I mean, she's not as crazy as a lot of people thought on release. I thought she was a lot better than she actually is, but playing her a lot more online, you find out that her playstyle is directly reliant on camping, especially since she has no forward air and no back air. Her nair is okay, especially having 3 separate nairs and obviously 3 separate off arms, but like, you're not the grappler that people thought you could be with your long range, because if you miss that grab, you are open to basically any forward smash or just combo starter or whatever they may do. But she has a ton of raw damage, a ton of really good combos, and the first true 0 to death that a lot of people have found. Is it practical? No. Does it exist? Yes. Is it insane? Absolutely. But I don't think it's enough to really hold her up higher on the tier list. Next is Pichu, and the only thing that holds Pichu back is the fact that, aside from his self-damage, which I feel it's bad, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be, if he gets himself up to like 50, back with K. Rool for example, one good forward smash and he's dead. Like, even from mid-stage, one good forward smash, he's done for. One good down smash, he's done for. And all it takes is one of his combos and maybe a counter hit. And that's a Pichu stock if you get lucky enough. But otherwise, his combo tree is incredibly complex, which makes him fun to watch, fun to play. But it's really just the self-damage that does himself in. Roy is fun. I think Roy is one of the more interesting Fire Emblem characters, especially since how there's, like 4 who kind of have a similar play style to him. But, you know, kind of having the reverse of Marth, where the closer to the hilt you are, the more damage it does, is pretty nice. But when you when you're not there, you're getting hit with a pool noodle. But, I mean, other than that, his recovery, it's easily gimpable. His specials aren't anything to go crazy about, especially seeing how the side B is very similar. Neutral B is very similar. Down B is very similar. But, you know, he is one of the more interesting Fire Emblem characters out there. Next is the Samuses, Samus and Dark Samus. The only thing that really holds them back here is the campiness. Like, people play these characters like they don't have a moveset. They just spam projectiles. And I understand, it can work. It does work a lot of the time. But when you have a full-on moveset that's really, really strong, like, I don't understand why people would just decide to spam projectiles like it's all she has. But I do think Samus is better than Dark Samus, just because Samus has a lot more weight to her than Dark Samus. Or I could be wrong, because Dark Samus feels a lot more floaty than regular Samus. Now with Greninja, like I was saying last here, Lucario can redirect his counter, from what I understand. I think that's true. I could be incredibly wrong and look like an idiot in front of the internet, but you know what? I'm sticking with my gut. But Greninja really has kind of the combos out of it that just give him the edge, especially with everything that he has going for him. The only thing that I find that lacks with Greninja, I don't know, there's something in Greninja's kit that feels like it belongs. Like, it feels like it should be there, but there's something else that I feel is missing that holds him back enough. And it's that thing that I can't put my tongue on that just keeps him from being in like A tier. Next we have Ike. Ike is fun. Obviously, Nair, the funny Nair, up air, fair, up B, all that stuff. It's all really fun. He's fun to play, fun to watch, all that stuff. But I think the one thing that holds him back is the fact that he's heavy. And the fact that once you get a grab on him, it's really over. But if he gets a grab on you, it's like, there's your 40%, have a nice day. So it's an even trade-off. Now let's talk about Yoshi. I hate Yoshi. Yoshi's my least favorite character in the game. The fact that he can do 80% in one the fact that his down air, multi-hit, can do up to 50% in like one good clean hit just does not make sense to me. And the fact that he could just kill off of it if he wanted to, like, it doesn't make sense. But I feel the one thing that holds him back enough is that he doesn't have kind of movement that he does in Melee. See, I like Melee Yoshi because it's very technical. He's a very technical character with his float cancels and all that. But it's kind of lost in Ultimate a bit for a more toxic playstyle. And the people who play Yoshi are very I see they have very toxic playstyles. Not personality, just toxic playstyles. Villager, I think Villager is very good. He's a very campy character, which really fits his kit, seeing how he's supposed to be a campy character, especially with side B and down B and all that stuff. But he has a lot of tools that help back him up from all those campy options. But again, just if you counter the tree and reflect the rocket, it's really just over for him. And then there's Marth. The tipper buffs were very nice. However, there's still something missing from his kit that sets him above from like similar. I don't want to compare him back with like Melee. Melee Marth was a different monster, so that I'm gonna keep that separate. But I feel like Ultimate Marth really, like, tipper makes him special. But I feel like a lot of people would rather consistent combos with, like, Lucina rather than a lucky hit with Marth. Because sure, you can combo into tipper forward smash and it kills at, like, 50 or 60, depending on your weight. But, like, other than that, I feel like just praying you hit the tipper hitbox is just something, it's not enough for what he needs to do. So that's my thoughts on B tier. Next is A tier. So here is A tier. To start off, yes, I think Mii Brawler is A tier material. One of the best Mii Brawler players, which I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I will put his channel link in the description. He has an entire tier list of Mii Brawler, like, special moves. And even in the clips within the video, he shows off the raw potential of what Mii Brawler can bring to the table. Really good combos, insanely useful specials, and enough, like, cheese to just supply people forever. I think the only thing that holds him back is the fact that a lot of Mii Brawler players don't play him the combo central character as he is. They play him as this, oh, you're at ledge, okay, you're dead kind of character. You know, I don't know what down B number it is, but with like the meteor, the headbutt, and then the backwards dive. I don't know what they're called. I don't play Mii Brawler. I do think this character is really, really good though, and I have considered picking him up multiple times. However, the one thing that's held me back is that it's his combos aren't difficult. It's just the people who play him do not play him as a combo character. They play him as a spammy troll character. But now Falcon is a combo character. He is probably the ultimate online character. He has everything an online player wants. Flashy moves, insanely good combos, really good damage, like Nair, down air, Falcon Punch, Falcon Kick, all that stuff is incredibly flashy, really interesting to watch. I mean, and even playing Falcon, like, he doesn't rely, he loves the lag, because then Falcon Punch. So it really just ends up becoming a match back and forth of who can hit the cooler clip if you're playing a Falcon Ditto, which is, it's fun, but it's not always the best. Next is Corrin. The Corrin buffs definitely gave them an edge, a much needed edge. I don't feel they are as strong. They are strong, incredibly strong, don't get me wrong. But I feel with a lot of the buffs she got that she falls off in the long run when it comes to some of the other characters having a lot heavier combos, because she gets comboed pretty hard, but she also combos pretty hard. So it really just depends on, who's in advantage. But when Corrin's in disadvantage, she's kind of stuck there for the longer part of the run. Next is Fox. Fox is not... I don't think Fox is made for online. He works in online, but he's not good in online. Sure, he's really fast. He has a lot of combo-y moves, but whenever I play a Fox, they always try to go for the offline combos, like dash attack, nair, drag down forward air, constant up tilts, but they can never hit it, whether it's because of input lag or just like internet lag or whatever it may be. But it just holds them back from being the insanely fast rushdown spacey. Like, he is probably... I'd call him a rushdown spacey, sure, because he has the laser to keep you away and keep dealing damage, but he also has the speed to get in close and get one up smash, and you're done, and then you're dead. That's it. Next is Hero. Yes, I think Hero is A tier. Everything about Hero just screams A tier character. Like, let's see. Neutral B. Fully charged neutral B kills at 70. Fully charged side B kills at 50. You have an entire menu of almost instant kill moves. And you have random crits. That screams, I am an online character. Play me online. He is a clip character. And that's why people love him online so much. Just the only thing that holds him back is mana. And when you run out of mana, you just get ran down on, because now you can't recover. Because if you have to you can't recover with 0 mana. Unless you're lucky enough and get Zoom, you're done. You're just done for. Next is Link. He's obviously better than Toon Link, being able with his remote bombs, throwing them off stage, going for deep recoveries with that, and especially having bomb recovery, basically recovering from wherever he wants below stage. But he's a little too technical to be useful online. Sure, the bomb, but with lag, it messes everything up. Especially like when you play against Falcon and he can just run around on you and like lag. You're basically just a sitting duck at some points. Especially like our next character, Shulk. Shulk is a very diverse moveset. It's basically 5 different movesets because of Smash, Buster, Shield, Speed, and Jump. But he's not very fun. He's fun, especially having a nice long distance sword, but I don't think, like Fox, he's built for online. Like, he's very technical. He requires a lot of practice and a lot of skill. And when you go to online and you just find, I don't know, a Falcon who just spams Falcon kick and side B and then knee, and that's it, or you find a Luigi who just spams 0 to death combos. There's no point in choosing your character anymore. You might as well just go play Kirby and go for sucks off stage. Next is Wario. Wario he's pretty good. I enjoy watching Wario's play, but again, I don't feel his combos are made for online. He has tools that work in online, like Waft, Side B, Chomp, all that stuff, they work in online. But when they're kind of mixed together in his central combo tree, I don't really feel like online is a good enough place for him. However, he has a lot of other moves like forward smash, up smash, all that stuff that kind of fill in the gaps of where he lacks. Then we have Olimar. Olimar, what holds him back is Pikmin management, and a lot of players who play him don't really understand how to control his Pikmin management and when you should or when you shouldn't, mix it up a bit. But like, having the 5 different Pikmin, it's kind of like Shulk in the sense that you have sort of a different moveset with every combination, but you have to learn when to, what Pikmin to get, when to throw it away, when to pull again, how to use that all to your advantage, what Pikmin does and what they're best at. So it really just comes down to your mental game, which online, you don't really need a lot of that to win, unless you're playing like in Elite Smash and you care about your GSP. It really just comes down to who can spam the moves faster, which is what Luigi is good at. Luigi, 0 to death combos, somehow they're easier online. I get 0 to death constantly playing online. But obviously, the character, he's really strong. He has a lot of funny stuff that works. The only thing that really holds him back is that, I don't know. I don't think anything holds him back. I just think he kind of caps off at some point. Like, he has a lot of good tools, and all those tools work together. But the problem that I see with him is that there comes a point where he stops becoming this insane character and just starts going into spamming. And I feel like that's kind of a wall, and Luigi is just on that. Then we have Pac-Man, who is just spammy. Especially with online, a lot of players don't know how to kind of stop recoveries, and with Pac-Man having an insane recovery with side B and up B and all that stuff, it really hurts. It really helps his playstyle, but it hurts the people you're playing with, especially when he just spams Neutral B, Fire Hydrant. His smash attacks are really good and they catch you off guard all the time. But it just comes down to, are you willing to sit through about 8 minutes of just getting camped out? But with our next two entries, Chrom and Sheik, they are not for camping. I feel like both of these characters, and I'm going to group them together for right now, they are both really good. They have a lot of tools that help them. Chrom, obviously, though, he has damage. He has the best of Ike, which I feel is his damage, and the best of Lucina, which is the combo tree. But the only thing that holds him back is that his recovery is easily gimpable, which doesn't seem like much, but when you realize it's his only main recovery move, it really hurts. But like Sheik has Bouncing Fish, which is down B, and she can kind of save her recovery with side B or needles in order to get to stage more reliably. But I feel still she just kind of lacks. Like, sure, her combos are good, but I feel like in the damage aspect and the weight, she just still lacks that oomph that she needs to be boosted up to S tier. Diddy Kong. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop here, and I forgot about Diddy Kong for a second, but Diddy Kong's an A tier, really good combos, really good combo game. The community for him has really picked up again. Just the only thing that holds him back is that banana is his kryptonite. When he has banana, he's really strong, but when the opponent has banana, it's basically a free forward smash if you get hit with it, unless you can roll fast enough or they're far enough away. But otherwise, it's basically a free kill. So now let's just get into S. So now let me organize S tier. I completely forgot about Diddy Kong. Okay, Mario, Young Link, Ness, Falco, Snake, Rob, Snake, okay. So here's S tier. So let's start from the bottom and go to the top. Mega Man. He has a lot of really good projectiles. However, if we look in S tier, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 characters with either a reflector, a reflector, or a counter. Which really, when it comes down to it, is not that good, and you rely on mainly setups in order to get those projectiles off. Especially seeing how some of your most close range moves, dash attack, down tilt, up tilt, forward air, back air, all that stuff, it's strong, but when you really look at the rest of S tier, they fall off in comparison. Like with Pokemon Trainer. Squirtle, insanely good for combos, really good combo tree. Ivysaur, crazy kill moves. Down air, up smash, all that stuff. Crazy kill moves, kill at like insanely low percents. And then Charizard, you have side B and a good recovery. But like the thing that holds them back is kind of like in online, it's really just cheese. Like a lot of online Pokemon trainers will just spam Charizard side B, but for some reason their Squirtle and their Ivysaur are insane and they're incredibly smart and know exactly what to do. But I just feel like kind of the spam ability that the character has versus what they can do holds them a little bit farther back. Inkling, really good combos. She is incredibly strong, especially with a ground and covering you in ink, being able to do more damage. That's all really good. Up throw, up air is insanely strong. So yeah, there's nothing really wrong. And especially in S tier, nothing with these characters is necessarily bad. All these characters really have something good about them. Like Terry has Go Sauce and I think he is the best Shoto character. He is insanely strong, really hard to react to online. But, you know, Go Sauce, incredibly useful. All that stuff. Sorry. Wolf, I think obviously Wolf is like, I think the second best spacey. Being able to get one grab off and just rushing you down, getting that raw damage in. And especially with side B spikes being like Bliss is incredibly fun to watch, play against. And even, you know, playing against a Wolf, sure they might spam Gun more than Fox and Falco, but like they still have the forward air and the up air combos to kind of back up the fact that they're spamming one move over and over and over and over again. Now Joker. This is Joker without Arsene. Joker with Arsene is easy top 5. Joker without Arsene is where he is right now. He's really good, crazy combos. Obviously, we saw what he can do offline and online. He still has a lot of the same strengths, but he loses a lot of that kind of mental game that you have offline. Because online, if you're really like not enjoying it, you can just turn off, you can just turn off the console and walk away. But offline you can just walk away. But online, you keep something with you. You in your mat, you will remember that you lost to that Joker online, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peach and Daisy are the Twitter characters. They are both incredibly strong, especially with their counters. Float. This is where the float cancels come in, with their crazy stage-long combos and everything you have. It's just crazy to think that this character is as good as she is offline and online. Then we have Game & Watch. Obviously, 9 is cool, and he has incredibly good combo games. Everything about him really just kind of covers up each other, especially with everything with Game & Watch is very disjointed. Forward air, down air, up B, all that stuff is really good. Having both a reflector and kind of an absorb with his bucket is really well, and it subs as a projectile when it's at full, which is great for breaking shields, and it's great for getting those early kills. And with Snake having crazy good smash attacks, really spammable, C4, keeping it hidden, getting those surprise kills out of nowhere, bombs, just spamming those on stage, keeping your opponent guessing when to move and when not to. Up smash covering really high, being its own projectile and being spammable for both roll in and jump on ledge. All that stuff just makes this character really interesting. Rob, 0 to deaths. Insanely good recovery. Like, he can do an entire circle around the stage, I think, and still be able to have enough to recover. He's just really good. Side B is really good move for him, and especially with his laser being very spammable, high damage, forward air, and all that stuff. And his back air pushing him sideways and down air pushing him up kind of helps him in his recovery in the long run too. Falco, I think, is the best spacey. His combos are way better than Fox's because they're a bit more fluid for online. I think Falco is the online spacey, but Fox is the offline spacey, and Wolf is kind of a mix in between. But Falco, he really just everything he has links into each other so well, and that you'll see that with these other S tier characters to the left of Falco. All of their moves link into each other so well that it's very difficult to not be like, man, I just got destroyed. But Palutena has really had, oh my god, what a voice crack. Palutena has had a very strong following in the game and a very strong player base, and that player base knows what they're doing with this character. So I really do think that Palutena is as high as she could be, but obviously the characters above her have a little bit more oomph behind their movesets or just how they play online to be able to kind of hold their own against her. Like Ness, PK Fire. Being able to PK Fire someone to 60 and then get a grab and a kill off of it does not make sense. It makes this character insanely good. Super light, super floaty. His combos work. He is a perfect online character. Same thing with Young Link. Bomb arrows. Young Link just has something about him just makes him so useful. Like, bomb arrows being able to link into almost every one of his moves, and even itself to keep combos going with boomerang and bombs and all that stuff. His up B also being a reliable kill move, just it's perfect. But Mario I think is the best S tier character. I think Mario is the best S tier character. Like I said, all of the moves that he has, all of his tools link into each other so perfectly. His side B being a really good reflector, down B being great for pushing opponents off stage and getting stage control, especially with his ladder combos that he kept. I really do think Mario is as strong as he is. However, all of these other characters after him are still really, really good. But all the characters in top 5, I think, just have a little bit more edge over Mario. So now I'm gonna go one by one, showing you what I think the top 5 characters are. So I think the 5th is Cloud. Everyone thought Cloud was really fairly bad when it came to offline. There weren't that too many offline Cloud players. I mean, obviously, a lot of people say Spargo kind of carries the character, and I see that. But even online, Spargo kind of carries the character a little bit, especially also with Cola and all the other Cloud players. But like, when you play online, you're at least guaranteed to find 3 Cloud players, all of which know what they're doing and will run circles around you. They will 3-stock you. If you are not prepared, they will 3-stock you with every single... They will forward air spike you, down air spike you, up B spike you, whatever they want to do, because they are way more equipped for the battle than you are. All of their tools are perfect. Back air is really useful. Up air is incredible. And limit is just, it's such a good move for him. It just, down limit is really strong. Side limit covering so much. Projectile limit, I don't know what to call these things, but they're just all so good. 4th, I think, is Lucina. Lucina has all the really good stuff about, like I said, with talking about Chrom. Lucina has the raw damage and the combo, Lucina has the damage to coincide with her combo tree. It's very straightforward. However, Lucina players still somehow seem to develop new ways to styling on online players like it's day one. They are years ahead of what other people seem to be playing like. Next we have Steve. I think Steve is the perfect online character. He has everything you need to be online. I said Falcon is the online character, but Steve is built for online. Just the fact that you can block spike someone. The fact that Twitter, the stuff that people have shown on Twitter and on just any social media platform. What you could do with Steve, 0 to deaths, block cancels, block spikes, all this crazy stuff. It should not exist, and yet it does, and it makes Steve such a strong character. Makes him so powerful. Then we have Sonic, and we all know how strong Sonic is. And they buffed him. They buffed Sonic. They decided, hey, this is the fastest character in the game. Let's make him faster. Let's make his moves come out quicker. I don't understand. He literally runs circles around people, and now getting these buffs, I totally expect to see way more Sonic players than both Steve, Lucina, and Cloud combined online. Just literally dash dancing into the next dimension on me. Obviously, up B is insanely good recovery. His air dodge really helps him. So does his jump. And especially the mix-up with side B and down B looking similar. It's so useful for his kit. And the fact that he could still camp you out and you can't do anything about it just makes him super powerful. And yes, I think the best online character is Pikachu. Pikachu got buffed too. His forward air links into itself easier. However, Pikachu was already regarded as the best character in Ultimate for a couple patches now. I think since like 7.0, which is really, really good. Pikachu has everything you could want in a character. Damage, spikes, combos, reliable tools, projectile, really good, like, just, he is really, really strong. Everything about Pikachu folds in on itself. He takes the combo tree from Mario, some of the speed from Sonic, the damage of like Lucina, and the cheese of like Steve, and wraps it into one character, throws it at Cloud, and makes him cry in Japanese. So that's what I think of this is my online tier list. Remember, this is all my opinion. Comment down below if you think what character should move up, what character should move down, where you think they should belong, or if you just think I'm wrong, and that's totally okay. You know what? If you think I'm wrong, that is all right, because like I've been saying, I'm a casual Smash player. I don't play in tournaments online. I find enjoyment out of going online and styling on people with Steve and making them regret ever paying $20 to get a year subscription of online. So I hope you all have a good day. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and take it easy.